WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, today in Frankfurt at the InterWhisky 2018, together with
Nicholina Mylett from Walsh Whisky.
Exactly, from Walsh Whisky, and today we're going to talk about the Irishman. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the Irishman? How did the founder actually have this idea?
Yeah, so it all started way back in 1999 when Bernard and Rosemary Walsh lived in Switzerland and worked in a ski chalet. And, you know, being out in the cold all the time, they obviously met a lot of Irish coffees, and it was taking up quite a bit of time, so they kind of thought there's definitely a way around this to make this more efficient, and that's how the Hot Irishman was born. And this was a pre-made batch of Irish whiskey, brown sugar and Colombian coffee. Altogether, all you had to do was add hot water, add a little bit of cream, and there was your Irish coffee.
Excellent.
So this started a couple of years later. They brought out an Irish cream liqueur, and it went so well that they were kind of like, why don't we just have our own whiskey brand? And in 2005, I believe, it was born the Irishman with Founders Reserve, so which Bernard Walsh founded the blend of single malt and single pot still whiskey aged in bourbon barrels.
Very, very good. So there's some special ones. Maybe let's start with the most recent one. Which one would that be?
So that would be the Irishman Caribbean cask finish. So this is our Founders Reserve whiskey. Again, as I said, the blend of single malt and single pot still aged in bourbon barrels and then finished for 6 months in rum casks from the Chairman's Reserve Rum in St. Lucia in the Caribbean.
He picked them out himself, didn't he?
Yeah, Bernard, he's very into these cask finishes, and he needs to make sure that they're just right. So he goes out and he handpicks every one of these barrels that are used.
So very hands-on person here. Very good.
Very much so. Yeah, we've got to get the quality right. We don't take any chances with that.
No. And then what else do we have here? We also have, maybe let's go to the 2018 Cask Strength Edition, which I love personally.
Yeah, the Cask Strength Edition is amazing. Again, it's this unique blend of single malt and single pot still whiskey, this time aged in first fill bourbon barrels and bottled at cask strength, so 54%. The 2018 edition only has 3,716 bottles worldwide, so it's pretty exclusive. It's an amazing whiskey. You're going to get chocolate, vanilla, honey, and incredibly smooth, even though it is cask strength. And then, so we're kind of at the end of this, and there will be again a new release in 2019.
And you get a coffin as well. I call it the coffin. I just love the little box, but it does look a little bit like a coffin, if you ask me. All right, very, very good.
I guess.
Yes, you've never heard that before, have you? But I've called it a coffin many, many times on my whiskey videos. All right, there's also a 12-year-old, isn't there?
Yes, we have our 12-year-old single malt. So 100% single malt aged in first fill bourbon barrels. Again, this is an exquisite single malt. So you're going to get real nice cereal tones, and you're going to have a fruity midsection with a really nice long warm finish to it with hints of clove towards the end. It's fantastic. It's a real winter whiskey. It'll warm you right up.
Now, the interesting thing about the Irishman is you did not have your own distillery 12 years ago. But you actually used the distilleries of other people to make the whiskey exactly to that recipe. And as I talked with Woody when I was there in the summer, he always called it the champagne of whiskeys, right?
Yes, exactly. So this unique blend, it's an ode to the whiskies of bygone days when Irish whiskey was at a boom. And this style, it was loved by, you know, the literary greats of the time back in the day. And again, just this blend, single malt and single pot still, it was just known as the champagne of Irish whiskey. And I guess it's just because you get the best of both worlds, these two different types of whiskey, incredibly smooth with a little bit of spice coming through. You can't beat it, in my opinion.
Very, very good. And there's one last one, maybe you'd like to also show.
Our single malt.
Yep. All right, go for your single malt, please. Yay.
So this is our single malt, and this one is matured in bourbon barrels and Oloroso sherry butts. Then they once again meet each other again in the bottle, and I just think the flavour, it's extremely well balanced between the two barrels. You get your vanilla, you get your honey and your chocolate from the bourbon barrels, but you also get the orange peel and the nice fruitiness coming through from the sherry, and they really complement each other. It's a good one.
Exactly. No pot still whiskey in this, but just the single malt whiskey. Very, very good. Now, what can we expect in the future? Any not secrets that you want to tell us, but things that are planned and able to talk about?
Well, there definitely will be a cask release, cask strength, and we should have another 17-year-old coming out, which will be a really good one because that got great reviews with Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible, so we're looking forward to releasing that again.
Not even Jim Murray's, but also Jason's Whiskey World. I begged Bernard to send a barrel or so to Germany, and it appeared.
Yeah.
Yay! www.irish-whiskies.de. You can buy in Germany now, that because otherwise it's very exclusive to Ireland.
Yeah, there's 3 casks made, so that means there's only just over 1,000 bottles of this whiskey worldwide, and it's in select markets because we only have the 3 casks. So it's great that it's made its way to Germany.
It has, and I'm very proud that it was something I said, go get it if at all possible. Excellent, excellent stuff. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, together with
Nicholina Mylett
from
Walsh Whiskey Distillery.
Bye-bye.
Bye.